Hello guys, welcome back to LR Anime. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of BTTH Rebirth of Emperor Yang episode number 215 based on novel. So let's start. On the open sky, the blue sky is thousands of miles, and the scorching sun seems to melt people from the sky. The barren Gobi below reflects a red and yellow color, especially dead. The hot wind blowing in the air is like a red blade sweeping across the world, easily crushing the remains of some huge warcraft in the Gobi into a piece of yellow sand and drowning in the strong wind. Such a bad environment can only be described by the word bleak. Chilean Gobi, the largest Gobi in the northern wilderness, is also the most barren place in the whole northern wilderness. Here, although the earth is not like yellow sand, it is also a barren land. The gravel everywhere carries the hot high temperature, which makes it difficult to walk and burns the soles of people's feet. Therefore, this red practice Gobi has another title, Barefoot Next Door. The hot environment is not suitable for living beings, but in this boundless Gobi, at this moment, a small group of people are staggering forward and walking slowly. Sweat kept falling from these people's forehead. However, before the sweat fell to the ground, it had evaporated into the hot air. Most of the scenes of these people were ordinary, but there were also a few middle-aged people in brocade robes who had a thick breath and were not affected by the environment of heaven and earth. These people were all the strong men of the 9-star fighting emperor. As for others, even the ordinary strong fighting against the emperor also look a little ugly under this strange environment. The environment in the northern wilderness is no better than that in the western wilderness. Even in this Gobi, even the strong fighting against the emperor is affected by the environment. After all, it is the power of heaven and earth. Even if it is as strong as fighting the emperor, it can't be ignored. However, one of these people has never been affected by the harsh environment in the Gobi. A scruffy old man, dressed in rags and full of embarrassment, walks among this small group of people, but his face has not changed at all. His steps seem messy, but if you look carefully, you can find that there seems to be a special law in these messy steps, and it is this law: the old man's crooked body never fell down. In addition to the sloppy old man, at the end of the team, a young figure wearing a black robe and steady steps is moving forward slowly. Looking at his appearance, it is naturally Xiao Yan all the way north. A week has passed since the destruction of the South Hall. At the moment, the Gobi where Xiao Yang is located is the only way to Biji Mountain. Although it is not a vast desert, it is also a vast area. Here, even Xiao Yang will be at risk of getting lost without a guide. In order to avoid this, Xiao Yang can only follow the team in front of him. Although the number of this team is small, the 3 high-ranking fighting emperors who lead the way in front of them have a certain understanding of the Gobi. They are like old horses who know the way and are their only guide in the Gobi at the moment. At the moment, everyone in the team has paid 50 low-grade spirit stones to the 3 people. Although the cost is high, it is not only used to cross the Chilean Gobi, but also to enable them to cross the Gobi safely. Although the Chilean Gobi is barren, there are also potential dangers in this harsh environment. Powerful warcraft survive hard in this environment. The struggle for survival is more intense here. Powerful warcraft will fall all the time, but those who survive will only exist more powerful. In this Chilean Gobi, even ordinary high-level fighting emperors are also in danger of life. Therefore, the leader of this team will be composed of 3 high-level fighting emperors. Walking at the end of the crowd, Xiao Yang was not in a hurry. Although the gravel was everywhere, it did not bring him any trouble. The soles of his feet fell, and the gravel under his feet was easily crushed like tofu. Wherever he passed, he left a row of clearly visible footprints. At the same time, with Xiao Yang's breath, the powerful fire energy contained in this world is constantly pouring into his body. Although this practice is particularly slow, it is also very solid. Every trace of energy is condensed after countless times of absorption and refining, and the result is undoubtedly the most direct for the growth of cultivation. The only drawback is that the speed is slow, but this does not affect Xiao Yang's interest in it. After the last Obsidian Tower party, Xiao Yang's accomplishments have increased a lot, but his breath is not calm enough. After a period of slow precipitation, I believe Xiao Yang's accomplishments can be fully consolidated, which is a good thing for him. Together with the strong, it is like the ascetic journey in the Gobi. Only by taking one step at a time and being down to earth, can we really grow up, and Xiao Yang naturally understands this truth. Well, while Xiao Yang was walking, the figure of the untidy old man suddenly entered Xiao Yang's sight. An ordinary old man, naturally, won't attract Xiao Yang's eyes, and the difference of this old man is his ragged black robe. A robe was almost broken, and it was obvious that the robe was burned by the fire, but this made Xiao Yang more worried, because he could clearly perceive that there was a strong and domineering flame smell from the old man's body. From this point alone, Xiao Yang could be sure, the latter is also a fire attribute cultivator, and his accomplishments will never be low. At least, when Xiao Yang probes each other with his soul power, he can't find any valuable information. As a fire attribute cultivator, he was so embarrassed by the flame, which really made Xiao Yang curious. What kind of flame can make a strong person with fire attribute look like this? Well, when Xiao Yang explored the old man with his soul power, the latter also noticed. A smile flashed on his dark old face, and then his staggering steps became invisible and slow down. As for Xiao Yang at this time, he was distracted and thinking about the questions in his heart at the previous moment. If the flame that can make a strong fighter so embarrassed is not the work of someone with stronger cultivation than him, I'm afraid there is only one flame in the world. Is it a strange fire? Suddenly, Xiao Yang thought of something in his heart. When he raised his head, a human shadow suddenly appeared in front of him. Unexpectedly, he fell directly on him. Then, in Xiao Yang's surprised face, he fell in front of him. At the same time, the sad cry also sounded, attracting the attention of the people in front of him. Xiao Yang's face suddenly changed. Unexpectedly, someone could get close to him without his notice. Even if he was only absent-minded for a second just now, such an accident was enough to hurt him. His body quickly retreated. After confirming the safety of the surrounding environment, Xiao Yang looked at the place where he had just stood with vigilant eyes. At this moment, there, the sloppy old man was curled up on the ground with a painful expression. As soon as he said this, the people on the way behind frowned and looked at each other. Finally, they fell on the three high-ranking fighting emperors. Since the three of them have accepted the spirit stones of these people, they naturally want to ensure that they are escorted to their destination. They can't easily leave anyone in the team. At the moment, the sloppy old man's behavior will undoubtedly slow down their forward speed. Moreover, there are not a few powerful warcraft in this red practice wall. Once provoked by the old man, that will cause more trouble. Compared with this, no one wants to see the latter situation. Woo-woo. It hurts. The old man held his right leg in his hands and rolled around on the ground. The slightly hoarse wailing sound in his mouth made people feel irritable. What's more, he still looked disgusted. Before the crowd, the three middle-aged men in brocade robes also frowned and looked at the sloppy old man curled up on the ground. At the same time, they also noticed Xiao Yang. Naturally, they can see that the sloppy old man must have made trouble on purpose, but at present, no matter what the reason is, he must suppress the matter first, otherwise if he makes such trouble again, I'm afraid it will bring trouble to everyone. Sir, the sky is high and the road is far away. We still need to hurry now. If it doesn't matter, we hope you can stick to it for a while, wait until dark, and then check the injury. Moreover, the strength of warcraft in Chilean Gobi is very terrible. Once they are attracted, it will be a lot of trouble. I also hope you can consider our safety. One of the three middle-aged people in brocade robes stood and spoke calmly, but the sloppy old man ignored his words and still curled up on the ground with a painful look on his face, which made others feel sick. Smelly old man, Master Chen is talking to you with a good voice and anger. Why do you still pretend to be like this? If you don't get up and shut up again, be careful, I'll ask you to get up. The middle-aged man is considerate of his own interests and likes to talk, but those who are on the way don't care. They only care about their journey and can't be delayed by anyone. At this time, Xiao Yang also frowned suspiciously and looked at the untidy old man curled up on the ground in front of him. He had never met the latter, but what did the old man want to do so? The slovenly old man directly ignored what others said. His deep and bright eyes looked at Xiao Yang, and he still cried. Boy, you broke my leg. You have to compensate me. The shrill and hoarse shouts echoed in the open world. The frowns of the people frowned deeper, and Xiao Yang's face sank. It seems that the old man is deliberately looking for trouble. However, when the old man stared at Xiao Yang, the latter also clearly saw that there were several scars burned by fire on the old man's dark face. However, at this time, he didn't want to pay more attention. Smelly old man, are you finished? Seeing that the sloppy old man was indifferent, in the crowd next to him, a middle-aged man with a slightly red face whispered a scold. His little patience has been exhausted by the old man. Now he has to take him to cool down. Hiss. At the moment when the words fell in his mouth, the middle-aged man's body shot forward fiercely. His body and mind were as fast as lightning. The fighting spirit in his body flowed rapidly. With a wave of his big hand, when he dropped his hand, his body appeared behind the old man and grabbed it on the scruffy old man's shoulder. However, at the next moment, the sloppy old man seemed to look back inadvertently, but his strange eyes made the middle-aged man's body motionless in an instant, and the fighting spirit flowing from his body to the meridians seemed to solidify in an instant. A deep panic emotion suddenly rose to the bottom of his heart, but his originally red face turned white at this moment. Bang! With a slight muffled sound, the middle-aged man's body retreated out uncontrollably. Although it was no big deal, it was enough to make everyone present pale with this skill alone. Although the middle-aged man's cultivation is not the top in this competition, he is also a 6-star fighting emperor. However, the sloppy old man can beat him back with only one look without touching the latter's body. It is conceivable how strong he is. At this moment, not only Xiao Yang, but also the 3 middle-aged people, their faces became dignified in an instant. They were full of deep fear in their eyes. However, just when Xiao Yang was about to speak, Xiao Xian, who had been silent for half a month, finally spoke at this moment. Boy, don't be careless. He has a deep breath. I can't even see through it. His cultivation may have surpassed the fighting emperor. You should be careful. The particularly dignified voice of words made a sound at the bottom of Xiao Yang's heart, but with the falling of these words, it was like dropping a boulder on the calm lake, which instantly aroused waves in Xiao Yang's heart. To surpass the fighting emperor, these 4 words alone are enough to show how powerful the old man's real strength is, at least at the level of Huayuanjing. Huayuanjing. My heart trembled slightly. Even with Xiao Yang's heart, I couldn't help becoming nervous at the moment. Even a pair of clenched palms under my sleeve robe were unconsciously released slowly. Well, the mood change in Xiao Yang's heart seemed to be in the eyes of the sloppy old man. There was a suspicious secret in his heart. Then the old man shouted again. I don't care. You have to compensate me. If you don't, I'll cry, sobbing. As the words fell, the old man really howled again, but the cry was particularly embarrassing. Even so, this time, none of the people around dared to talk much. After all, they also saw that scene just now. A 6-star fighting emperor was shaken out at will. If they dared not rush up again, it would be hard to say the result. At the moment, they can only expect Xiao Yang to take out something to calm things down, otherwise, once you provoke those powerful warcraft, it will not end well. Hearing the rogue words of the old man, Xiao Yang was also ashamed. It's hard to imagine that he would still be a strong man at the level of Huayuanjing. His mind and nature are very different from what Xiao Yang thought. Elder, I have no intention of offending you. If you offend me, I apologize to you. Despite his reluctance, Xiao Yang had to avoid the edge in the face of a strong man at the level of Huayuanjing. Anyway, he is still just a 7-star fighting emperor. He can't easily provoke a strong man at this level. It's better to do more than less. Now it's still important to hurry. You still have a good conscience. If you deceived me, the old man still knows how to apologize. Since it's all like this, I won't embarrass you. Reduce the compensation by half, 4 fourth-order pills. Forget it. Seeing Xiao Yang bowing and saluting, the sloppy old man immediately showed a satisfied smile on his face. He quickly climbed up from the ground, looking like nothing, but what he said was amazing. 4 fourth-order pills. The old boy is too black-hearted. The slovenly old man's words fell, and the faces of the people around him suddenly changed. Rao was so angry with them for the old man's request at the moment. As for the 3 9-star fighting emperors, they looked at each other. Although they also had uncontrollable surprise in their eyes, they were silent in the end. Others don't know, but the three of them clearly understand that this seemingly ugly slovenly old man is a real strong person in Huiyuan environment. It's not their turn to talk more. After all, there are always some strong people at this level who are eccentric and can't listen to other people's criticism. It's not a joke. As for Xiao Yang, after seeing the smile on the old man's face, the fear in his heart turned into doubt in the twinkling of an eye. Although the old man's behavior is difficult, at the same time, it also seems to contain another charm. A thought flashed in his heart. Xiao Yang immediately regained his mind. In a moment, he took 4 level 4 advanced pills from the ring without hesitation, and wanted to hand them over. Although the 4th level pill was precious, Xiao Yang handed it over at the moment, but there was no hesitation on his face. If you can exchange 4 4th order pills for the favor of a strong person in the source environment, it is undoubtedly worth it for Xiao Yang. However, just as Xiao Yangang was about to deliver the pill to the slovenly old man, the latter suddenly opened his mouth. Wait. The voice of the old words seemed to have some magic. When the words fell in the mouth of the sloppy old man, the action in Xiao Yang's hand also stopped. Hiss. Xiao Yang was shocked by the old man's strength. Then, he looked at the latter suspiciously. He didn't know what the old man was thinking. Boy, the pills I want are level 4 melting fire pill, Zhuhua pill, Fengxiao pill and Fengyuhuhua fire pill. I don't want any other pills except these 4 pills. Don't say you can't take them out. When the old man said a word, the people around him immediately frowned and were suspicious. They had never heard of such a rare pill. Even the 3 9-star fighting emperors also frowned slightly. Among the 4 pills, except 1 or 2 of them, they had never heard of it, let alone its efficacy. Hearing the words of the sloppy old man, even Xiao Yang frowned. As a herbalist, he naturally knew these 4 pills very well. These 4 kinds of pills are ranked in the 4th order, and their functions are used to fuse the flame without exception. In most cases, these pills will be used by herbalists to improve their fusion with the flame, so as to further improve their fire control ability. Therefore, these pills are very rare in the outside world and unknown. But now Xiao Yang is more and more curious about why the old man chose these 4 pills. With his cultivation, it should be impossible to use this pill, unless he wants to use it to control the terrible flame of some power, such as strange fire. Thinking of this, Xiao Yang's heart suddenly trembled. I said, boy, do you have it or not? If not, I'll be angry. At this time, the sloppy old man seemed impatient to open his mouth again and interrupted Xiao Yang's thoughts. Then, the latter did not dare to neglect and quickly searched for it in the ring. Soon, 2 red and 1 blue pills appeared in Xiao Yang's palm. These 3 pills are the melting fire pill, Zhuhua pill and Fengyuhuhua fire pill requested by the sloppy old man. As for the phoenix pill, because of the special material, it is also impossible to take it out even for Xiao Yang's collection. As far as these 3 pills are concerned, they are only obtained by Xiao Yang's luck several times, originally intended to be used as an aid when swallowing the flame next time, but now it seems that there is no chance. Elder, these 4 pills you need are really rare. I can only get 3 here. Therefore, I hope you can understand. After bowing his hands, Xiao Yang sent the 3 pills in his hand to the slovenly old man. Although the latter frowned slightly, he accepted the pills impolitely. The people around him were relieved. If this episode can be solved early, it will undoubtedly relax their hearts a lot. Hey, boy, I'll take the pill, but remember, you still owe me one. After collecting the pill, the sloppy old man immediately gave a strange smile. He looked cunningly at Xiao Yang's eyes, gently pointed his toes to the ground, and his body shape soared up. After scanning the people around him with a sneer in his eyes, he immediately turned into a flame light, and disappeared in the world in a twinkling of an eye. See you later, boy. The voice of the old words still spread in the hot gobi, but the body of the sloppy old man had long disappeared. Only a moment later, the people present gradually recovered under the great pressure of the previous moment. The tense nerves of the people suddenly relaxed at this moment, and the cold sweat was like rain. The already tired people's body became weaker at this moment. The brilliance of the hot sun fell mercilessly on the people's red skin, and the sweat soon evaporated and disappeared. At the moment, except for the 3 9-star fighting emperors and Xiao Yang, everyone else sat on the ground and began to recover the passing power in their bodies. Seeing the people sitting on the ground, the 3 middle-aged people looked at each other, nodded, dispersed and carefully explored the surrounding environment. He looked straight at the untidy old man to leave. At the moment, Xiao Yang also took back his eyes. His eyes swept casually from the people in the field and just wanted to sit down. But the next moment, Xiao Yang's face suddenly changed. Together with the 3 middle-aged men, his eyes also converged in an instant. The sight of the 4 people turned at the same time and fell in the center of the team at this time. Under the gravel-covered earth, they clearly felt that there was an extremely strong atmosphere at this time. They surged at an extremely high speed under the arrogance, just like the magma that was about to break through the earth, which made the 4 people feel or at once. "Get out of here." 3 middle-aged people drank in unison, deafening. All the people who had just sat down in the field suddenly woke up. When they came back to their senses, they quickly retreated and dodged away from the place where they sat today. Bang! Almost at the same time, the ground where the people were located was suddenly torn apart by a huge force from bottom to top, and the dust was flying. A giant beast broke through the earth in front of the people, and the sharp roar turned into an invisible sound wave, accompanied by the extremely terrible and powerful smell of destruction. In the later stage of the 9-star fight, "Damn beast, you almost hurt me. Knowing that there are 3 9-star fighting emperors here, I dare to break out. I'm really looking for death." After returning to their senses, the faces of the 3 middle-aged people suddenly became gloomy. With a wave of their big sleeves, a hurricane swept out of their faces, sweeping away the dust and fog between heaven and earth, and the appearance of the giant beast in front of them became clear in an instant. Hiss! The scarlet tongue vomited and contracted in the air, and an extremely strong fishy smell spread around. 2 triangular eyes swept the 3 middle-aged people, and the deep purple pupils showed a strong bloodthirsty light. The huge body was fixed in front of everyone like a column, and the huge shadow shrouded all the people present. At the same time, it also shrouded a huge haze in their hearts. Red scale python, how can it be this thing? Damn it, doesn't that mean? Seeing the huge python in front of them, the faces of the 3 middle-aged people suddenly changed. It's okay if it's other warcraft, but if it's this beast. Bang bang. At the same time that the faces of the 3 people changed, then 3 earth-breaking sounds rang out one after another. The faces of all the people in the scene became very ugly. As things swept away, we only saw another python with the same size as the former standing around them, surrounded all of them. In this way, the 4 red scale python in the field is equivalent to 4 9-star fighting emperors. 4 heads. Damn it, it's 4 red scale python. Red scale pythons often live in groups when they are young. They will not leave the group until they are mature. However, even so, red scale pythons will still form a small number of groups. For example, 4 red scale pythons live in groups, which can be called the top existence in the red practice Gobi. Damn, it's troublesome now. It's all the blame of the dead old man. If it weren't for him, we wouldn't provoke these animals. Seeing the 4 python, the 3 middle-aged people immediately became ugly. 3 to 4, they wouldn't have any chance of winning, and they didn't expect any of the ordinary emperor fighting strong men around them. In the face of absolute power, quantity cannot determine anything. Even if the strong fighters are present, they are still not enough to see in front of the 9-star duty. When the 3 middle-aged people thought of this, all the strong fighters around them were also concerned about it. They also had a good idea of the horror of the red scale python. From the situation in the end, they had no choice but to escape. Hiss. However, just as the crowd was preparing to flee in all directions, the 4 python were preemptive, their huge bodies were twisted, and the snake buried under the earth drilled out like a mountain. Soon, it blocked the way of everyone present. At this moment, all the people in the field, including 3 middle-aged people and Xiao Yang, are completely surrounded by these 4 python, and become a turtle in a jar. There is no retreat. Damn it, there's no way back. I can only break through. The faces of the strong fighting emperors changed greatly. Several of them also bit their teeth and looked at the slit between the bodies of the 4 red scale python. From there, you can still see a large area of the next door. It is obvious that there is the best breakthrough. Rush. We must not wait to die, but rush out alive. Go. With several roars falling, 2 or 3 strong fighting emperors rushed forward regardless of others and wanted to take the opportunity to escape the siege of 4 python. Some fools, they are looking for death. Seeing this scene, the 3 9-star fighting emperors cast pity on them. It's not that they don't want to save them, but these guys are looking for a dead end. They can't blame them for standing idly by. Then, the figures that rushed out appeared in front of the 4 python bodies in a flash. They could escape the siege in the next moment, but it was at this time. Hiss! The dumb roar came out of the python's mouth. Almost at the same time, several bloody mouths flashed like meteors across the sky. With several screams, those powerful fighting emperors were divided into pieces by the 4 red scale python in the twinkling of an eye. Then, in the frightened eyes of the remaining people in the field, the 4 python turned their bloodthirsty eyes to them. These 4 beasts are not easy to deal with. The 3 of us will hold one respectively. As for the remaining one, it depends on your luck. The faces of the 3 9-star fighting emperors were very solemn. They gave a warning and immediately shot forward, each welcoming a red scale python. As for the rest, they were all frightened and had no time to save their lives. How dare they face the red scale python? As for Xiao Yan, looking at the remaining red scale python at the later stage of the 9-star fighting emperor, the corners of his mouth unconsciously raised a radian. The red scale python is not only strong in cultivation, but also incomparably powerful in flesh and blood. The violent power contained in its blood is also an excellent material for refining its flesh. If you can kill it and take its blood, Xiao Yan's flesh power will undoubtedly be improved. A thought flashed in his heart. Xiao Yan held back his hand, and Shen Chongkai immediately fell into his hand. His toes gently touched the void. His body immediately turned into a dark shadow. In the blink of an eye, he appeared in front of the red scale python. He waved the giant ruler in his hand and hit the red scale python in front of him. Hiss! The sudden appearance of Xiao Yan also surprised the red scale python. After all, it is a high-level warcraft. Although it lives in the red practice Gobi all year round, its intelligence is no less than human beings. Therefore, for Xiao Yan's terrible speed, the red scale python also feels an inexplicable threat. With a roar, the red scale python twisted its huge body, and its huge head dodged flexibly to one side. At the same time, the huge snake tail swept from behind Xiao Yan and hit the latter's head directly. Hum! Xiao Yan was naturally clear about the strong wind behind him. He didn't change his movements at all. His body turned around. Giant Kai also swept fiercely in front of him with a strange posture, and at the same time, he collided with the huge snake tail of the red scale python. Chong! Sparks burst out, and the sound of gold and iron collision suddenly spread. The giant ruler hummed for a while. Xiao Yan's palm holding the Shen heavy ruler trembled, and the huge snake tail in front of him also shook back with scattered scales. Hey, this body has strong defense. With one blow and one touch, Xiao Yan can't help feeling terrible for the beast's physical defense. With such powerful physical strength, it's no wonder that the red scale python can be at the top of the Chilean Gobi and survive in this environment. It's really not an ordinary generation, but it's also good. For Xiao Yan, the more it is, the more it can prove the value of the red scale python. He didn't want to work hard, but the final result was very little. Hiss! Just when Xiao Yan's body stopped, behind him, a huge snake head suddenly appeared, with a big mouth open, full of fangs like the sickle of death, with cold forest white luster and scarlet blood, and bit it off at Xiao Yan. If this is torn by it, even if it does not die, it is afraid to leave an indelible wound. Sure enough, it's still an animal. It can't change the nature of sneak attack. His eyes were sharp. Xiao Yan didn't show the slightest panic because of the sudden appearance of the red scale python. As soon as the palm of his hand turned, Shen Chongkai held it back in his hand, and his steps changed. Tianjue's step was displayed in an instant, and his body shape turned into a phantom. When the red scale python fell, Xiao Yang's body shape seemed dangerous and dangerous. He dodged from his mouth, and even the scarlet snake letter was almost pasted on Xiao Yang's back. The cold, bloodthirsty killing intention came from behind. Xiao Yang thought clearly and acted coherently without any delay. He stood in the void and leaned forward to avoid the attack of the red scale python. At the same time, the body originally turned back to the red scale python suddenly and strangely. In the eyes of a pair of painted black, the white flame suddenly surged up. Almost at the same time, Sen's white flame is like a sail rising in the wind, covering the whole giant foot in an instant. At the moment when Xiao Yang's body turned back, the palm holding Shen Chongkai held it harder. His right arm suddenly waved, his muscles tightened, and his powerful strength spewed out at the same time. It was like a volcanic eruption. A heavy blow, impartial and heavy blow hit the head of the red scale python. 7 broken sky feet, 1 foot. He was furious in his heart, and the forest white flame suddenly surged wildly. At the moment when the giant ruler touched the head of the red scale python, the flame turned into a high-powered ruler orn, like a sharp blade, trying to cut the beast from it. Hiss. When Kaimang crossed, the light shone like the stars in the night sky. The dazzling light passed in a flash. The startling Kaimang swept through the small half of the body of the red scale python. The hard snake scale collapsed like the city wall. Under the cold snake scale, the flesh and blood bloomed, and the crimson blood gushed out. Under the scorching sun, the blood looked particularly dazzling. Roar. The dumb horse roar came out of the mouth of the red scale python in pain. While the latter's body trembled, it was originally a pair of purple triangular eyes, but suddenly showed a scarlet light. The animal was completely angered by Xiao Yang. Well, the situation here has also attracted the attention of the 3 middle-aged people. At the same time, there are the other 3 red scale python. Hiss. It seems that this boy is not an ordinary fighting emperor. He can annoy the beast. The 3 people saw the huge wound on the head of the red scale python. The red blood changed their face. It was only a few moves that could make the red scale python eat so painful. It was enough to see the power of the young man who hurt the latter. Who is this boy? I've never heard of such a person in the northern region before. Their faces changed one after another. They had been wandering in the northern regions for so many years, but they had never heard of such a young 9-star fighting emperor. The appearance of Xiao Yang made them very suspicious. Hiss. At the next moment, the red scale python opened his mouth, and the red and yellow fighting spirit suddenly gushed out and turned into a fighting light column, with the momentum of destroying the sky and the earth, as if he wanted to punch Xiao Yang through. Hey, do you want to be serious? Well, it wasn't fun last time. I'll take you as a test stone today. Seeing the appearance of the red scale python, Xiao Yang's face was not dignified, but eager to try. Last time, the Deputy Hall Lord of the South Hall was only the middle of the 9-star duty, which was not enough to make him really give full play to his strength. This time, the appearance of the red scale python could let Xiao Yang have a good try. The powerful force mercilessly crossed the sky. The invisible void seemed to be a fragile mirror. In a twinkling of an eye, the fighting light column had appeared in front of Xiao Yang. 7 feet, 2 feet. Holding the giant ruler in his hand, he slashed it from top to bottom. The ruler orn shot again, and 1 foot broke the red scale python's blow. Buzz. Almost at the moment when the fighting light column broke, the huge snake tail of the red scale python came behind Xiao Yang again. Unlike last time, this time, the red scale python did not choose to fight hard, but wrapped Xiao Yang's body with the snake tail at an extremely fast speed, curled up in the snake tail, and its terrible strength erupted at this moment. Like pinching an ant, we should pinch Xiao Yang's body. But unfortunately, the beast obviously underestimated Xiao Yang's means. Although his arms are bound and Shen Chongkai can't start, in addition to fighting spirit, physical strength is also his strength. Power image resolution, gold image resolution, Kai. The 2 methods are used at the same time. The golden light is prosperous. Under Xiao Yang's seemingly emaciated body, his powerful strength like Mount Tai suddenly wakes up at this moment. Boom. The body shook violently, and a huge virtual image almost solid rose up behind Xiao Yang. Following the movement of Xiao Yang's hands, He moved his hands together to free the huge body of the red scale python. Then, in the stunned eyes of the people in the scene, he hugged the tail of the red scale python, and then waved it violently. Unexpectedly, he raised his whole body. This video will end here.